Welcome to the Dollar Bets podcast, your home to free money sports betting.
All right, hey everybody, Dollar Bets back for another episode of the podcast. Week 1 of college football, getting to the MLB playoffs. We've got Curtis with us. Bobby Betts is MIA, still sweating the Bobby Sweats, I should say, sweating the Red Sox Yankees series where he picked up the last game. So give him that. Would have been the first 4-game sweep since the 1920s, but that's all right. He got one. They're still right there with the Red Sox. But remember, a couple weeks ago he said he wasn't scared, so we're just going to keep reminding him of that. And D-Boe is in Hawaii, or was in Hawaii. He was trying to swim over to Honolulu to see the Hawaii game. Where I don't know if you saw that game, Curtis. Did you happen to watch that game? That ending was awesome. And I don't know if you saw the story about the kicker. He was from Japan, watching YouTube videos about how to become a kicker, and then he played at some Midwestern JC because he wanted to learn English, and he got picked up by Hawaii, and then he kicked the winning field goal. That's only in college football to get a story like that. That was pretty cool. And that also hit my 5-teamer because of that, because it covered. So cashed out some money, took a big lead over D-Boe in our I already had a big lead, but took a bigger lead. So it's a good thing. So anyway, let's get to some picks this week. It's college football week 1, but we've also got a lot of baseball picks, got some fantasy picks. I've got my fantasy draft this week, so I need some advice. So let's start with fantasy sports. So, Curtis, what do you got for fantasy sports?
Yeah, so I'll start with baseball, just because we're still in the thick of things, getting closer to playoffs and everything. But I got a couple of pitchers. Honorable mention. We'll start with Kyle Bradish, starting pitcher for the Orioles. He had a really good season last year. Was a little short just because of injuries. He had a 2.75 ERA, 1.07 WHIP with 53 Ks and only 39 innings. But he pitched really well. Sorry, against your Red Sox. I think it was yesterday actually. And he went 6 innings, giving up only 2 runs, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. So I would definitely pick him up because he looks like he's back into mid-season form, and he's ready to help the Orioles at least finish out the season strong, if you will.
Good thing the Orioles bullpen sucks, because the Red Sox have been screwed by their starting pitching for the Orioles.
Yeah.
Orioles have been shutting them down, but they get the bullpen, they win the game. So yeah,
exactly. And then second pitcher, Parker Messick, starting pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians. He actually pitched very well since he got called up on August 20th. He has a .66 ERA, .88 WHIP so far in 2 starts this season. He's got 12 strikeouts, just the 1 walk in almost 14 innings. So that the 24-year-old rookie southpaw, he's looking pretty good, and I think his next turn in the rotation is Monday, September 1st, as well against Boston. So good luck to you guys there, because he's been red hot, and he pitched really well at AAA. 3.47 ERA, 119 strikeouts in 98 innings. So if you need another starting pitcher, at least for Monday, and even possibly for the rest of the season, because I feel like the Guardians will let him kind of roll with the punches once he's keeps rolling it with it and everything. So that's another starting pitcher. Parker Messick for the Cleveland Guardians is another solid one option. And then sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say football, but if you got one more baseball.
Yeah, I got one more baseball. So Jonah Tong, if you haven't heard of this guy, everybody out there listening for fantasy baseball, starting pitcher for the New York Mets, go get him now. He just got called up, or he's going to get called up, on Friday against the Marlins. He's the breakout prospect. The Mets have been, kind of hiding in their minor leagues for a little bit, but he's an absolute stud. He's a 22-year-old righty, impressive so far, 1.43 ERA, .92 WHIP. He's got 179 strikeouts in just 113 innings. I would pick him up as soon as you can. As soon as you hear this podcast, go pick him up. He reminds me, and as well a lot of people, of Tim Lincecum, the two-time Cy Young Award winner. So he's probably going to get a little bit more leash than guys like Sean Manaea and Kota Senga right now, who are struggling a little bit. So Jonah Tong, New York Mets starting pitcher, go get him now. He is a stud.
Yeah, the Mets have been great against the Phillies this weekend too. Or this week, I should say. Nice to see the Mets doing well. not a big fan of Bryce Harper, so anything they can do to beat the Phillies, Mets are going to do. They've had some for all that money, they just can't seem to make it to the playoffs. Or they make it to the playoffs, but they can't seem to go far. And I think this is their year that they're going to get a little further in the playoffs and do a little damage. But
Yep.
Dodgers are just lurking there, and the Padres. Padres are looking good
Yep.
too. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the West is aside from your Giants. Sorry, Giants have been pretty bad since the Devers trade. I think D-Boe shared a thing with me where the Giants are the worst team in all of baseball since the Devers trade as far as wins, losses. That's pretty bad. I did not expect that. I thought they would, everybody's like, oh, he's going to help them out. But I think a calamity of things came together where you had bad pitching, bad hitting for the Giants. So, yeah, Red Sox have done a little better. Their hitting's been spotty, but a lot of it can be attributed to the young players, just hungry players. But yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, as we know, it's football season, so let's bring the football season. I've got a ton of bets for us today. College football, it's such a great time to look at college football. And week one is always harder to bet because you don't know where teams are. But the benefit of that is the sports books don't know where they are either. So you get some interesting odds going into week one. So let's take a look at the first game I'm going to bet. Buffalo versus Minnesota. Games in Minnesota. I'm going to take Buffalo and the points, though. Minnesota's a solid team over the last couple of years, but throwing too many points. Take Buffalo, the underdog, on the road. That's my first bet. Next bet is Toledo, the Rockets, playing Kentucky. Kentucky was solid last year. SEC team, I usually fade the SEC, but Toledo, I don't know. Toledo is not ready for prime time right now. They're one of those mid majors that's not going to get done. Take Kentucky in this one. Staying with the SEC, Georgia minus 39.5. Marshall. That seems like a huge number, 39.5. Marshall lost most of their players in the transfer portal. Take the Dogs, 39.5. This is one of those games that Georgia's going to be up by like almost 40 at halftime. So easy bets there. Take the Dogs. Next game, Coastal Carolina at Virginia. The Chanticleers were good 2 years ago, and everybody's kind of riding that. Oh, they were great for a while, but Virginia's only laying 12.5 in this game. Home game in Charlottesville. Take Virginia in that one. Next game, K-State at home versus North Dakota. Now everybody's going to be all over North Dakota. FCS team that always wins. They're in the championship playing against. It's always North Dakota, South Dakota. They're always in this thing. Well, North Dakota's coach, their team all left. There's nobody left in that team. K-State just came off that terrible loss in Dublin where they should have won. I mean, I took Iowa State, but K-State looked pretty good in that game. And they're a little bit upset. You had a little fight in the streets of Dublin between the quarterback's brother. I don't know if you saw that. Brother and father getting a little drunken fight in the streets of Dublin. I think they're going to come out there. I think because of that, the number's really low for K-State, but 25.5 against a team that's not very good. Take K-State in this game. Next game, BYU against Portland State, and I'm not a BYU fan by any sense, but Portland State could not do anything in week one. I'm worried that BYU is going to pull their starters second half, so take BYU and the points first half. And final game, Fresno State, just saw them play. They got beat pretty bad by Kansas. You got Warner's kid at quarterback, flying back home, but you've got Georgia State flying across country against them. What's crazy is, Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern is the favorite in this. So Fresno State's getting 1.5 against a team that was in the FCS a couple of years ago. I think Fresno State, Mountain West team. I think while they looked overmatched against Kansas, I think against Georgia Southern, they're gonna pull together. So take Fresno State plus 1.5 against Georgia Southern. I got one more to throw at you. Baylor versus Auburn. I'm taking Baylor. Hugh Freeze has been way overrated for Auburn. Baylor's a pretty good team. Auburn's defense is not great. Take Baylor in this game. Take Baylor in the points. So I'm taking the parlay. I'm taking Kentucky versus Toledo. Taking Georgia. And I think my favorite game of that would be the Fresno State versus Georgia Southern. So those three in a parlay, the rest of them single bets. You're going to make money off all those this week. So those are my picks for that. Baseball, going to go home. Like I said, don't usually bet with my heart, but Crochet's just been unstoppable. Against Baltimore has found a way to lose. I don't know if you've been watching the series. They found a way to lose every game of this series. They've been up, and their bullpen blows it. So Crochet doesn't always get the run support, but tomorrow take Crochet, take the Red Sox money line. I think it's minus 195. Just throw a little bit on there, sprinkle the run line a little bit. But if you just want guaranteed money, Crochet money line tomorrow.
Yeah. I agree, because that was actually going to be one of my bets, is definitely take the Red Sox over the Orioles, because Crochet he's a monster. I mean, he's been that way all year. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
All right, you got some more fantasy football picks for us?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, Omarion Hampton, running back for the Chargers, I would go get him. I mean, the rookie out of North Carolina, he's going to be the lead back pretty much all year. I mean, Najee Harris is aging. He's coming off an injury right now. Matt Miller's pro comp is Brees Hall. And I mean, when Brees Hall was healthy, the last couple of years, he's been pretty phenomenal. And I definitely agree with Matt Miller's pro comp on that. And Jim Harbaugh loves to run the football. So Marion is already set up for success, with Justin Herbert as his quarterback. And, Hampton scored 30 touchdowns the past 2 seasons, had 1,500 rushing yards in each. So go get a Marion Hampton if you need a running back, especially. And then wide receiver, if you need a wide receiver, Matthew Golden for the Packers. I mean, this guy has a lot of buzz in Packers training camp right now. He's basically going to be the favorite target for Jordan Love this season. I mean, a rookie out of Texas. He's one of 2 players to run a sub 4.3 40-yard dash at the combine this year. So he's got some wheels. And, Matt Miller's pro comp is Garrett Wilson. So that's pretty good news for Jordan Love and the Packers. And he also led college football with 23 catches of 20 plus yards last year. So definitely go draft Matthew Golden if you need a wide receiver for sure.
All right. And any other baseball bets for you?
Yeah, I'll add on to your, Red Sox over Orioles with Brewers over Diamondbacks, because Jose Quintana's pitched really well. Nabil Krismat has also done pretty well, but the Diamondbacks, they're not quite, up there with the Brewers class this year, and the Brewers are 45-23 at home, so I'll take the Brewers over the Diamondbacks for this one. And then I'll also take the Astros over the Rockies, because anybody against the Rockies this year, you might as well go with them. Jason Alexander's pitched really well his last 4 or 5 starts, going up against Kyle Freeland. Astros are 39-28 at home, and the Rockies they're 17-50 on the road. So I'll take the Astros over the Rockies. And then unfortunately, I'm going to go Cubs over Giants, because Shota Imanaga versus Logan Webb should be a good pitching match. But as you stated earlier, the Giants have gone downhill very, very quickly since they got Devers from the Red Sox. So I'll take Cubs over Giants.
Yeah, and let's go back to Jason Alexander. I think we've talked about him on the pod a couple times. Santa Rosa kid.
Mm-hmm.
I've been riding him the last 2 games. He has been lights out in his last couple starts. And I think the odds makers are not noticing that one. I found a lot of value in riding him, and so stick with it while you can. Astros are looking pretty good too. They're playing pretty well. The Brewers, on the other hand, are a solid team, but man, they had that 6-run lead on Tuesday night and almost lost. They came back and hit the walk-off, but
Yeah.
man, they're making some games a little sweaty. A little sweaty, but they're getting it done. But the run line is a little scary with the Brewers, but money line is pretty safe for them. A lot of bats in that lineup. They're getting it done. So yeah, great picks. All right, we've got some good stuff on the board. Anything else you guys share?
Yeah, I'll throw one more fantasy out there. He got called up pretty recently. Carson Williams, shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, 22-year-old rookie, got off to a really good start after getting called up on the 22nd. He's hitting 400, 1 home run, 1 stolen base over 4 games so far. He hit 23 homers and 22 stolen bases at AAA, and he's probably going to handle an everyday role at shortstop going forward for the Rays. So if you need a shortstop for the meantime as well, for the future heading into fantasy playoffs, go pick up Carson Williams, shortstop of the Rays.
Excellent. All right. Well, we got some great picks out there for you. We are heading into week one college football. Lots of picks out there early, and then NFL's coming soon. We got fantasy drafts coming. Let's go a little fantasy draft strategy, Curtis. Let's share how you would go position wise. What's your go to as far as I know it depends on who's on the board, but
Sure.
if you're just starting out fantasy football, what's your go to? Is it running back or is it receiver, running back, and then quarterback, tight end? Where are you at? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it really, like you said, it depends on who's on the board, in terms of value. But you can't go wrong with getting a wide receiver or a running back in the first round. I would never honestly take a tight end or a quarterback in the first round. You can always get those guys a little bit later. So I would say at least get a running back or a wide receiver in the first two rounds. So that way you have a solid RB1, solid wide receiver one. And then after that, I would mix and match kind of the same thing, running back, wide receiver. So that way you have at least two solid running backs, two solid wide receivers to kind of start your draft. And then you can start adding on, quarterbacks and then tight ends a little bit later. And then obviously the flex and the bench. Bench, you want to go for upside at that point. A lot of the rookies, running backs, especially, and wide receivers. But you can't go wrong with starting your draft with four solid picks of running backs and wide receivers to kind of get yourself rolling.
What's the earliest you would say to make that sneaky pick? Like, let's say not this year, but 4 years ago, Kelsey's on the board. You're in round four. Or what's the earliest you go for that reach pick, just to change it up, or to go to a defense, right? If Detroit Lions when they were good, like what's the year that you're going to pick that team you're going to sneak up for?
I honestly would say round 5 would be kind of a reach position, or I guess round in that sense. But honestly, I've always felt that defense, if you have defense and kickers, I would always save those for the last two picks, because a lot of times even the top 5 defense year before end up being 13th,
Right.
17th, 21st, that next season. So right now the Broncos are the number one defense right now, but they could even fall to 9th or 13th this year. You never know; anything can happen, especially when it comes to defense / special teams. So I would always say defense and kicker, go for those last two picks, just because you can always get upside earlier in terms of running backs, especially all those rookies out there. So I would say save your defense and kickers for last if you can.
All right. Last question. Quarterbacks. Every year it seems like quarterbacks kind of do that shuffle as far as who's the great quarterback in the league. What's your top 4?
In terms of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now I can't even put Mahomes out there. I would
No,
say
right? He struggled last year, didn't he? Yeah.
you can't go wrong with either Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and I'm kind of blanking on the fourth one right now. But any of those three, you can't go wrong with those guys. As in terms of like round, probably like 4 or 5, I think is when they're going off the board. Well,
Yeah.
look who decided
What's
to
up?
party.
Well, all of a sudden we have D-Boe in the pod. All right, we've got D-Boe with us again. He's joined us a little late, coming off of I'm not really sure what D-Boe was up to, but we're going to keep that for what happens in Vegas or happens in Hawaii stays in Hawaii. So we'll leave it with that. D-Boe, what are your picks?
Okay. Well, the Giants are playing a lefty again. Shota Imanaga. They pitched very well for the Cubbies. Looking at this over/under, haven't checked the wind yet at Oracle Park. The over/under is at 7, and Logan Webb pitches very good at home. I can't pick a side in this. My heart is with the Giants, but they suck against lefties. And just like I said last podcast, we got another good lefty. So I'm just going to take the under 7. It's even money. But still, I want to check the wind. I want to check the weather conditions, make sure the wind's not blowing out too much. And it doesn't really matter for Logan Webb. He's a ground ball pitcher. But I like the under 7. Give me the under 7 on that.
Under 7 with the Giants. All right. Anything else, D-Boe? Any football picks for us?
Football picks. I did a draft on Sunday. I was in Hawaii, kind of intoxicated, but
What's your drunkest pick of your draft, D-Boe? Who was the person you most regretted picking?
I didn't regret any of it. Half of it was auto drafted because I was trying to shower and get ready. I was trying to do like 3 things at once. I forgot I was drafting. And it's only a $25 league, so I'm like, I really don't care about it. But I got Ricky Pearsall in the 8th round, which I was very happy with. So that was my.
Who's your quarterback and running backs?
It was a 12-teamer. I auto drafted Josh Allen 1st round, ninth pick overall.
That's great for 9th.
I think my second was Kyren Williams.
Wait, 1st round, 9th pick? I don't like that, actually.
Yeah, 1st round, 9th pick.
Yeah, don't like that. But okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't have done that. It was auto draft. My 2nd round was also an auto draft. I think it was like 15th overall pick. It was Kyren Williams, the Rams. I think my 3rd pick was Breece Hall. I don't know. I forget. I only made like 4 out of 4 or 5 picks the whole time.
So here's a question, and Curtis, we'll have to judge this. Was the auto draft selection better than the D-Boe selection? Like if we look at the picks, or maybe next pod, we're gonna have to look at side by side and see who did a better job, the computer or D-Boe.
We can do that.
So right now, I think the computer. You might have been done better than the computer because I don't like Josh Allen 1st round. He's a good, solid quarterback, but I don't like that pick. So maybe you did better.
I mean, it was. I usually go running back, always 1st, 2nd. So we'll see if it. I mean, he is the best quarterback, I think, fantasy wise, him or Lamar.
Yeah.
And I usually get quarterbacks in like the 6th or 7th round. So we'll see how it goes. I'm also looking at Garrett Crochet.
There you go. That's a 3-person lock right here. Every single person is picked
on the run line is minus 105 on the run line.
Tomorrow. Yeah, minus 195 for the money line. Minus 105.
I got minus 174 on my side. 174 on the money line. Minus 105 on the run line. I'm going to fire that right now as we speak.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Love that pick. Doing it. I mean, the Orioles have found a way to lose. Red Sox bats have been a little bit quiet in the last 3 days, but they're due to explode. So I like that pick. Getaway day though.
Thank you to your Red Sox
different lineup in there tomorrow
or today, but tonight we're recording this on Wednesday night. Thank you to your Red Sox and Bayo for coming back in the 9th inning. That was awesome.
Oh, Rafaela with that 2-run homer late. That was huge.
Oh, speaking of Rafael, your other Rafael Devers hit a 3-run homer tonight. That was nice too.
About time he did something.
Oh, he's been doing something.
Going back to fantasy football, last year I got Jaden Daniels late. And man, what a pickup that guy was. I had Tua. I didn't draft a quarter. I just waited. There was no quarterback, so I picked up Tua, and I got Daniels late, and Daniels became my starter, and he just carried my team for a while. Yeah. He's a solid quarterback. So anyway, if you need a late fantasy quarterback, I know he's not going to be as late as he was last year, but still solid pick for a quarterback. He'll get you those rushing yards, get you a couple rushing touchdowns.
He will get you rushing yards. I think he's due for a sophomore slump, and defenses will figure him out. But he will be there on the ground, and he will be getting you fantasy points like a motherfucker.
Right. He might get hurt. Small guys like that
he's going to start. He's going to throw more interceptions this year. It's just a sophomore slump year. I mean, but that doesn't. I'm not saying he can't have a great fantasy, year because he'll do it with his legs,
Yeah. Yep. All right, fellas. Let's have a good week 1 of college football. Let's all brew for the Sox tomorrow. Crochet. We're going to fade Bobby Betts, even though the Yankees have been 2 in a row for the Yankees, 3 in a row for the Yankees. So.
And they've had like
I've actually
14
bet
homers.
them a couple games. It's sad to admit. Yeah. Yeah, it's either all or nothing with the Yankees, right?
They do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, and good luck, and stay safe out there.